I'll be mostly muted, but I will be with you
That's
guys.
the first thing they heard, Flambeau. Much appreciated, sir.
Penis. Good evening, everybody,
Alright,
and welcome.
we're all sorry about the delay, but there was apparently a time zone change and also a actual change to the tournament time. So anyway, here we are. I'm the Motherlode. We're about to get started with the grand finals of our event, which is the Take the Crown Doom 2 Duel Tournament. This is it. This is $1,500 on the line. We got a double elimination bracket of absolutely the best players, and we're about to get started over in one of the servers with the first match of the day, which will be Devastation and Armour in a best of 3 lineup. So I'm super fucking excited about this. Let's go ahead and get over to the server and see what those guys are up to.
Yeah, Devastation and Amar. It's like a battle of different eras in terms of, aimbotting. I mean, Amar has probably the best reaction time of any player right now, and he is just a force with the super shotgun. And of course, Dev comes with all that experience. He also has amazing reaction time, and maybe that's dwindled a little bit in his older age, but he takes all of that experience and he can outsmart his opponents pretty well. So this is, in my opinion, the greatest matchup that we have to begin the entire finals. So I'm glad that we could show you guys.
And let's just kind of fill on anybody who's just tuning in to the tournament. Maybe you didn't care about the qualifiers, or you just kind of wanted to see what was going to happen in the finals. It took Devastation until week 4 to even qualify for this tournament, which is insane given, he's one of the greatest Doom players known to mankind. So it's been a long run for him, and I'm really excited to see how he performs today. Did he finally, get in the practice he needed to get comfortable with this netcode and really embrace the game of Zandronum as opposed to, his typical source port, which is like Odomex, I believe. I've seen him play on Zdaemon a little bit too, but this is definitely going to be interesting and fun. But we've got Armour in the server now, so we're going to start picking maps, and we'll get rolling with this bad boy. By the way, I want to go ahead and say before we get started, thank you to those of you who just followed. You are appreciated and noticed. And go ahead and share this if you're on social media or whatever right now. Go ahead and let them know, like, hey, we're getting started. We're also streaming over on KingDime's channel. He and Do will be doing commentary over there to get the most coverage we possibly can. So feel free to jump back and forth between the streams if you need to. And let's just keep this thing moving forward.
I also got to give a shout out. Zenero stepped up, and he will be streaming. So if you want to go over twitch.tv/Zenero, it's Zenero, Ralphus, and some other really classic Doom players over there. So that's going to be a good time.
That'll be the old man's channel.
Yeah.
Alright, we flipped a coin, and it's heads. Armour called tails, so that's going to be Devastation's pick. Flambeau, were you trying to drop links into the chat? I don't know why the bot does that, but I'll fix that eventually.
Yes.
It's all good.
I've been muted, thank you. That's the best, actually that's a feature. Muting Flambeau.
A feature, not a bug. Let's see.
Feature, not a bug. Yep. I always say that when I lose.
Wait. Okay, they're starting to ban, but then they got confused. It looks like Armour thought he had first ban, but that is not true. And now, okay. Bones, you might have to go ahead and step in and let them know how this works.
Well, playing in 4 qualifiers, I could imagine that it gets confusing doing the same thing over and over again. But I think maybe Amar just got confused.
It's all good. I think Dev's just going to let him have it. You can ban Moo, I don't care. So Dev obviously feeling really confident today. I hope that stays the case for the rest of the day. Who else we got in the bracket. I posted the bracket in the chat, by the way, but if you guys need it, you can go ahead and type in !bracket. It'll bring it up as a link, and then you can just pop on over. And that link actually will show up, I promise.
We have a ton of good games in the whole bracket right now on KingDime stream. Actually, they'll be streaming Dante versus Proteh, which is kind of an epic matchup. And over on Zanero stream, they're doing Animal and Ty. But some other games include Ghostkiller versus Zakin, JWarrior and the Best Killer, Langrenus versus Dastin, Disbarrel versus Seifer, and Denzoa versus Legion. Of course, Denzoa, a featured guest on our podcast earlier this week. He was seeded as number 1, so he goes up against Legion. All really solid matchups, but it looks like we are getting close to starting here. Dev banned Dweller, they banned Moo, they banned King, and CGI.
Pick Idea.
So now they're gonna play. They're playing Idea and Uptight to start.
Sick. Let's go.
Now Idea is actually a map that Dev considers to be his home field. So that's the map where he feels the most comfortable on, and it's going to be tough for Armour to get him on that one. But, you know, this map is pretty reliant on those close corners, like cutting those corners really quickly and using their SSG skills. So let's see what's going to happen here.
Right off the bat here, Dev gonna go ahead and get that first frag. Armour trying to chuck some damage back at him, but Dev on the move, just moving around this map like he's swimming through silk or something. It's incredible. Just, as you said, this is like his home map. He feels really confident going on the attack here.
Yep, he's enjoying that back hallway gameplay, which is so reminiscent of Dwango 5 Map 1, Doom 2 Map 1.
Yeah, he literally wrote the book on it. So.
He did. Maybe someday we'll see it for sale.
Still a fairly close game here. We had him tied up at this time, and it seems like Devastation is gonna have to, circle around him a little bit and try to catch him in this hallway, but it didn't quite get the damage he needed until they got out here to the platform. And Armour is running for dear life, able to make it through the hallway, and popped out on Dev. He confused him, tried to juke around the corner for a second.
Well, and it might take Dev a little bit to warm up here. Dev is a man of many interests. He plays a lot of chess, and he was actually coaching a children's chess tournament earlier today. So he only got home about an hour ago, but this is kind of your typical chess type map, and he seems to be warming up his aim right now, but he's definitely playing a little bit of a game with Armour in terms of trying to draw him out and doing some like unorthodox things that are confusing him a little bit.
Maybe he's in the right mindset, like just brain wise, but not quite there physically yet. Like he hasn't got his arms just like at that right appropriate tensity to execute on his aim. But it's still he's keeping up. It's not like he's getting left in the dust or anything like that. It's 9-9 right now. Some BFG coming out, but no damage off of it from what I could tell.
Yeah, you have to wonder how long it's going to take for those nerves to settle down. I mean, this is the first map. This is the first game. Money's on the line. How long is it going to take? Right now, they're just trading blows back and forth, but you got to think eventually someone's going to pull ahead.
Oh, for sure. Or not. They could just keep doing this all the way up to 50 frags, and whoever gets there first gets there first. I've seen a lot of matches like that where they're just really evenly matched players. Done a great job overall. I think we've kind of, at this point, we've weeded out the chaff. Not to say that anybody who really played in this tournament was chaff, but everybody who's left are elite players. And honestly, we probably could have fit a few more elites into the finals if we just made a bigger bracket and committed to sitting here for 18 hours, but that's not going to happen. So Devastation actually falling a little bit behind here. Can he catch an upswing? He's going to get a little bit of a spawn frag opportunity here, but he's not able quite to wear him down. 5 health for Devastation. We're going to flip over to Armour's point of view as he gets another frag, pulling out a little further here, 20 to 16. There we go. Really nice single shotgun play from Armour here. That might be his actual advantage right now, because Dev has been, and it kind of always is, playing the close game, trying to get in there and get those double barrel shotgun kills quickly. Armour a little bit more dynamic thus far in the match. He's been willing to kind of like keep his distance and play the long game. Do that damage from afar if he can.
Yeah, and Dev is doing his best to outsmart him and confuse him with logic and, you know, trying to utilize those back hallways, but he just can't seem to get a jump on him yet.
Yeah,
Amar's aim is just way too on point right now.
If you've ever had a double barrel in your face, trying to confuse your opponent with facts and logic isn't always the way to go. Sometimes it shoot them back faster than they shoot you. We'll see who prevails here. We still got a long match to go. We're only about halfway through, frags-wise, at this point. Running through the teleporter here. Ooh, and Devastation, really smart there. Was able to sneak up around the back of Armour, totally silently, not making a peep, and just get that quick kill in. That might be a turning point, but no, Armour is able to turn around and get a refrag here. 15 health for him. He finally goes down. 4 frag lead here for Armour.
Yep, you know, Dev is keeping it close, but Armour seems to have the jump on him right now, and he's taking advantage of the fact that Dev really wants to try to use that BFG, but he's not letting him get it. And now, yeah, so he hits the switch. He's trying to confuse things a little bit.
Only a 2 frag difference now. Devastation seems to be doing a pretty good job here. He's finally tied it up, of slowly but surely creeping in on him. And again, we're seeing Armour keep his distance here, try to play the long game. Don't let Devastation get too close to you. It's the last thing you want, and he's able to just slowly pick him apart. He's also got the armor advantage right now. I don't think I've seen Devastation make the armor run too many times at this point.
No, and like I said earlier, Armour is just not missing anything. I mean, you saw Dev tie it up, but now Armour goes back up by 4. And there were like 3 kills there in a row where he didn't even have any damage on him. So Dev's got to do a better job of trying to maybe adopting Armour's strategy where he plays a little bit further back and tries to take pot shots. He's just got to get his health lower a little bit, because Armour just continues to take him out.
I'm going to pop back over to Devastation's point of view now. And he's still trying to play the hallway. Finally does come out in just the right angle, but he gets refragged, and that's going to be his undoing. He needs to be able to capitalize on some of these kills. Very nice pot shot there from Devastation. Maybe actually listening to you. And tried to get a 180, and I think he maybe should have gone for the armor at that point, but it's really hard to tell. Armour, not unsurprisingly, has been doing an excellent job of keeping control of the armor. Because that's, I guess, the name of his game, literally. But 45 to 37, it's looking like Devastation's really going to have to string something together here if he wants to get out of his hometown map alive.
Yeah, and this might be one of the few times you've seen Dev actually go for the BFG, shoots 1 shot, doesn't really do any damage, but you know, he's got a lot of ground to make up here, and not a lot of frags to do it.
25.
He's got plenty of time
for Devastation. It's just not going to be the way to do it right there. So then maybe this is just like a warm-up match. perhaps we'll see him string something together. There's darn little kids in Nova Scotia that are learning how to play chess, taking up all of Dev's time. I'm sure that was more rewarding than this.
Well, you know, he had a pretty decent run there at the end where he was able to cut it to 6. So, you know, definitely not a runaway game by any means, but Ammar was just able to come up with those key frags there at the end. And so he takes that one 50-44, and I believe we're going to jump over to Uptight, which is, oh geez, an interesting map. I would say that it doesn't really suit either of these two players' play styles very much, but you know, and you can see Dev here kind of running back and forth, just trying to get his movement down. You know, you can tell that he's always working at the little things. So it'll be interesting to see. Uptight DM has a lot of different elevations, and it's just a different kind of map than what we just saw. So it's going to play really interesting.
Well, we're about to get started here, and this is another map where we're going to see if anybody wants to control that BFG, we're going to have to see them actually really establish themselves otherwise before they're able to have time to go out there and get it. So it's going to be a lot of fighting over that, I would assume, especially given Devastation's recent, on the last map, attempts at controlling the BFG. It's going to be even harder here. But maybe he'll just approach this map with a totally different point of view. Got a lot more, as you said, vertical angles to kind of work with here. And I think we'll probably see Devastation. He's already starting to do it here right off the bat. Is play the middle ground and just catch these running jumps off the spawn. Hopefully Armour learned his lesson from those first 5 frags. Dev doing unbelievable amounts of damage now. Might have been angry. Maybe he was just messing around the first time.
No, I mean, you know, I can imagine that he's angry. I mean, nobody takes losses harder than Dev, and you know, when money's on the line, I mean, he's not gonna be swayed by the fact that he lost one map. I mean, he's gonna come back and give it his all. But here we go, Ammar able to cut it down at least to a 5 frag difference, 4. So it's really back and forth.
How much is $1,500 in Canadian maple leaves? It's worth a lot more to him than it is to me.
I don't know. I'm sure Dev could buy a lot of donaires with that money.
Very nice. Catching him right off the spawn there. Dev is punishing him 100% every single time he makes one of these jumps. Expert move there from Dev. He didn't go out far enough on the edge to expose himself. He still ended up getting killed there, but like, you could see him approach the edge and then quickly just like angle all the way over to the right to get away from the corner, because he knows that's where the frags come from on this map, is standing over the edge of these platforms. Oh, there was no way to know. I don't even think his sound cues necessarily would have helped him. Very nice 180 flick shotgun there. Dev with a pretty comfortable lead. If he can keep this pace up, probably end up taking this one all the way to the end in the same way. But again, it is difficult to maintain a pace right here. I'm already starting to see Armour come back a little bit, shorten it down from a 7 to 4 frag difference in not a very long period of time. Let's pop back over to his point of view. See how the sausage gets made. Already back at it. We got to an 8 frag deficit there for a second.
Yeah, Dev is firmly in control of this one. So far, anyway.
He's trying to kind of do the same thing he did on the last map, where he wants to take these long-range pot shots. Interesting thing about this map is that standing at any one vantage point, it's actually, you have a lot standing in between you and the other side, so you can't really be as confident about like watching which direction your opponent's going to go from a farther away direction. So you kind of have to react quickly, and I think that might be a bit of a disadvantage for Armour on this map.
Yeah, well, it seems like Dev has kind of adopted his strategy where he's taking those long pot shots, and he's had some really great like around the corner, just like Hail Mary shots that have actually killed Amar, and so now we see him take a 12 frag lead, and I mean that's a tough one to come back from. There's still time, but you can see Amar is kind of getting out of his comfort zone. He's being a little bit more forceful in his attacks. He's getting right up on Dev, and I don't think that plays to his playstyle very very well. So Dev definitely took what happened to him last game and adjusted right. I'm actually surprised that neither player has used the BFG.
Well, as I said, I think at the beginning of the map, it's just like such a risk to go for on this map. Like, and that shows respect for your opponent when you're not going for the BFG on a map like this. I don't think either of these guys are overly confident. Dev clearly angry off of his loss, and it's possible that Armour, having gotten that first win, we can't deny the psychological aspect of maybe he's like, yeah, I just beat him on his own map. I'm comfortable. I can do whatever I want. Shows up on the second map, and then immediately, I think he was like 8 frags down right off the bat. So like. That could be really discouraging, and it could really like shake up your mindset. It's hard to change on the fly too. It's like the best players are capable of changing their plan in the middle of a match.
Yeah, and that's where that experience comes into play. I mean, if there's anybody that can adjust to what someone's doing, it's Dev. So, he's managed to maintain this 11, 12 frag lead. And as we approach the last 7 frags here, it's a lot of work for Amar to come back from. So, I mean, it's looking like we're going to go into a third round, which not ideal, but sometimes that's the way things happen.
And do we have any intel on Amar? Like, where's he from? What's he up to? I'm not familiar with him personally.
Well, I believe he's a Canadian player, and
Okay.
This is the battle of the Canadians. And if I'm wrong about that, slap me. But Amar just kind of, look at this. This is what I'm talking about. He just kind of shot up out of almost nowhere. I mean, he's been around for probably 10 years, but like, it wasn't like he built up this, oh my god, this ability to aim this well overnight. I mean, I'm sorry, like over the course of several years. I mean, it just happened overnight. And he's probably got the rawest aim, like the best raw aim that you could have in Doom right now. And you can see that because he's just cut it to a 4 frag lead.
And Devastation's only got to get 2 more to finish this map off. Very nice single barrel play here from Armour. Just getting the full chunk out of that thing. Only a 4 frag difference now. And another frag for Armour here. Devastation only needs 1 more. We'll go over to his POV now. Very nice. And
well, very similar to the last map where, one player kind of took it pretty early on, and the other player was able to come back and make the deficit not look as bad at the end of the game. But, I mean, that one was clearly in Dev's favor. Amar made him probably a little nervous there at the end, but Dev able to take that one.
Go ahead and update 1-1 now.
Now it looks like they're going to play Pyrrhic as the tiebreaker map.
Here we go. Starting off following Devastation here. He's not getting too big for his britches coming out of that hallway. Waited until he could kind of get a joust in, and it looks like both of them are gonna survive and have time to go over and regroup, pick up these items, and reassess how they want to attack the situation. Already a 2 frag lead here for Armour. Alright, Devastation not able to get quite the damage he wanted to coming around that corner, and Armour will capitalize on it. 4-0, Armour. Again, Devastation seems like he's maybe a little slow on the trigger this matchup. Just right off the bat here, finally getting one in. A very nice point-blank shotgun there. And in control of the plasma gun now. Can Dev pull this off? No, Armour had him scouted coming off the jump there by plasma. And able to pick up that super shotty catch. 10-2. Devastation slowly trying to get his footing. Figure out how he wants to handle this.
You know, it's interesting. I feel like I remember in one of the qualifiers, Dev played this map against somebody, and he fell down by a similar margin. It's just so tough to come back from that. I mean, this is just not the map that you want to fall down 10 frags on, because it's so wide open that you can almost play like a cat and mouse game.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a lot of work for him, but
a much bigger map and a map that's really easy to hide on in general. Like, you can really buy yourself some time if you need to, especially if you're in the lead. I mean, so we see that pretty much every time-based FPS games. Like, once you know you got 5 seconds to go and they need 1 or 2 frags to catch you, you could just run away. In this case, we got about 8 frags for Devastation. Hopefully he can close the gap up and make this match a little bit more interesting. We're going to go over to Armour's point of view. Very nice. You can just kind of see how steady his aim is. He sees him from a distance, and it almost picks his moment to shoot at the perfect distance and angle. Doesn't get too trigger happy and shoot as soon as he sees him or anything. Making the most of every shot, which is a page right out of Dev's book. Oh shit! Hey Garba.
literally Dev's book. But some lucky spawns for Dev, not so much for Armour there, and we get it cut down to 4. 5. 4. Yeah, this is an interesting map because it's a little bit larger than your typical map. It's probably got, you know, there's a wider array of weapons that, you know, the players don't really go for. I mean, you have plasma, you have BFG, but you mostly see super shotgun, and chain gun used here. We haven't seen too much of the other weapons, so we don't really know what kind of gameplay that would produce. But I think it would be interesting to see somebody like Dev go for the BFG and see if he can make use of it. But right now, it's all just an SSG battle between these two guys.
Alright, Armour's got to back around into the side and catch Devastation at an almost perpendicular angle here. Dev really has to string together some kills here. It's only a 6 frag deficit, and we're not even close to halfway through yet. I feel like he can pull something together, at least try to like get his strength behind him and show Armour that he's here to actually stay. I don't want to see Dev go to the losers bracket, but one thing that we do have to pay attention to this go around is that the losers bracket is no longer best of 1 here in the grand finals. It's going to be best of 3, just like the upper bracket. So we're going to be here for a long time. And also that's going to give our lower bracket players a lot more chances to redeem themselves.
Yeah, I think especially when you actually go through the qualifiers and you earn a spot, you should not be eliminated on one game. You should get the opportunity to play a best of 3. And so that will probably help a lot of these players like Dev, like Legion, people who took a couple qualifiers to get into the finals, who were just kind of eliminated on, you know, unlucky map picks or unlucky spawns or whatever. So, you know, they're going to have a couple more chances. But you're right. I mean, it's still not an ideal situation to be. Nobody wants to be in the losers bracket. And you saw Dev cut the lead to 4-4. I think he got it as close as 4. And now it's right up back to 9. So they're a little over 5 minutes in. This is one of the larger maps. Armour can play this however he wants. He can slow it down. And that seems to be what they're doing. Yeah.
We're going to go over to Dev's point of view and see him try to string something together.
And Dev was kind of sneaking behind Ammar there. He was kind of following him like a hammerhead
Snake in
shark.
the
A little bit.
grass.
Yeah.
And Devastation gets devastated as he tries to engage in that fight, but a quick refrag with the single barrel there. He's going to be slowly moving through here. You can hear the rockets going off, and he's got eyeballs on Ammar now, but Ammar able to back off and close the distance is not something Dev's going to be able to do there. Ammar was able to sneak up behind him, and that is going to be terrible. That's going to be really demoralizing. Dev did nearly everything he could right for that play. BFG's coming out. Dev doing the right thing, trying to stay low, but some gets through, catches in there in the bottom. 11 frag deficit for Devastation. This is not a good place to be in. We're rounding up. 31 frags for Ammar now. Only needs to get to 50, so Dev has to change the pace of this match. There's no other way around it. Really nice. And Ammar just stood on his spawn. Put Dev right back down and says, you will not be able to punish me.
Yeah, this is just, you know.
It is what it is.
It is what it is, but we're not out of time. And Dev is slowing things. They're both players are slowing things down, but Dev has tried to play the game where he finds Ammar and then follows him. It's not really working out in his favor. Ammar is getting super aggressive now. Wants to end it. Wants to move on to the next opponent. Dev's got some work to do. Dev's got to start doing some things that he hasn't been doing. I mean, whatever he's been doing has not been working so far. So, you know, maybe pull out the plasma. Maybe pull out the BFG.
It's kind of hard to say, but it seems like Dev has been more or less a one-trick pony through this entire matchup. He's very heavily focused. In the first match, we saw him go for the BFG a lot, but unsuccessfully. It ultimately cost him the game, I think. And then now he's just kind of really dependent on the super shotgun. Very nice. Single barrel might be what's working out for Dev here. I think he's got his last 5 frags with it up until this point. Very nice. Dev going on a rampage here. Maybe he heard us. Maybe he just summoned the demon. But he is moving very quickly towards his opponent. And unfortunately, Armour finally able to shoot him back. Only needs 10 more frags. Devastation has got to catch up. He's shooting from all angles here, punishing Ammar. And Ammar may be in a bad position here. Devastation able to run in and just misses that final run there. Can't get the last shotgun shell into his opponent, but Dev's still on the move. Even with all this amazing work Devastation's putting in, still a 7 frag deficit. Seven more, and Armour can cap this as a win and just move on and get Devastation out of his mind, at least for now. The MIDI track is kind of spelling out what I think is going on in Devastation's mind currently. It's just sheer frustration and cacophony. He's moving around really quickly now. He can't quite get a beat on his opponent. Armour taking these long-range pot shots. He knows Dev is going to be trying to watch around the corners, see if he can get a long-range shot in, but unfortunately Dev's reaction time not quite where it needs to be. As you can see there, he gets off that quick flick shotgun and then immediately gets refragged, and that's happened way too much, I think, for Devastation. Five health. Devastation is moving on through here. We're gonna zip over to Ammar's point of view and see how he does with only 4 frags to go now. Some very nice damage in the hallway there. Armour will depart. Only 2 frags to go. He's pretty much got this in the bag. Devastation would really, really have to change things up to come back from this 9-frag deficit with only 1 to go. And there you have it, Armour with the final frag of the match. Let's see that right back again. So we've got him moving around this corner here, really able to just, I don't know, kind of keep a beat on Dev at all times. Like, I don't feel like Dev ever was in a position to just kind of like, I can be comfortable, I can run away, anything. It just kept moving for Armour the whole time, and I think that's going to be the story of that matchup. With that said, folks, we'll be moving on to our next 2 opponents. Let's pop back over to my gorgeous, beautiful face. Shout out to the OW, y'all. What we got? What we got? Bones, is he still here? Did he run away to do the tournament?
Give me 1 second here. We have JWarrier and Langrenus are going to be starting in this server here that we're in right now, so we can jump into that one.
How do you spell Langrenus' name? L-A-G-R-E-N-U-S. It's right there on my screen. There we go.
Versus Die going on that just started.
Give them both 0s here, because that's what they are until they prove otherwise. Langrenus, absolutely gonna, like, just been super impressive. I believe qualified first day of the qualifiers and only second to Denzoa, which is mind-blowing, because this has just been top-tier competition every single week up until now. So I'm actually really excited to see these 2 guys in particular face off. Let's see what we got going on. Pop back into the server right quick. They're already starting to chat. So we've banned CGI and Dweller. Idea has been banned and Fyric has been banned. I want to see somebody play on Saskatoon. Starting with Moo.
Yeah, that would be. Sorry about that. I'm trying to update scores while we're streaming, but I mean, JWarrior and Lang, that's.
Where's our monkey
This
at?
is going to be quite the matchup. There is no monkey.
Damn.
This week.
Damn. Right off the bat, JWarrior with a wonderful pot shot little frag there. Noticed I spelled his name Warrior like the Warrior. Just had to fix it real quick. But already Langrenus with 5 frags. Langrenus is one of these guys that we're going to see. His interstellar movement. Him and Seifer, I think, of all the players in this tournament, just have the best and smoothest movement of anybody in the world of Doom 2 at this point. I don't know if it's a sensitivity or what is. His mouse movement is insane. Maybe he's not even using a mouse. Who fucking knows? But it's definitely distinct and different and smooth. And it leads to getting frags, and that's the most important thing, I think. JWarrior coming back with a vengeance, though. Tied it up 8-8. Not even past the 2-minute mark yet. Gotta love Mu 2D. You don't want to get caught spawning right back where you died. Unfortunately, that gave Langrenus the BFG. And he's just picking him off here one by one by one. Catching every spawn frag he can. Not making really any mistakes until he rushed that. Nice little 180 spinneroonie there for Langrenus to pick him off yet again. JWarrior falling back behind a little bit. Not afraid to keep pushing. We are going to flip over to JWarrior's point of view here. Just throwing haymakers over here. JWarrior. It's an interesting shot that Langrenus just made. Like right kind of almost through a pinhole in the map. Just the way that it lines up in that particular angle, you can still get a shot through the gap. JWarrior unfortunately turned around a little too soon. You cannot shoot someone out of the backside of your shotgun. It won't happen, folks. I've tried many times. Nice. BFG's coming out. JWarrior able to close the distance, and he's got him with his pants down. He finally gets that refrag. And another one catches him right off the jump there. See if JWarrior can continue to close that gap. Only a 3 frag deficit. Very nice refrag here. He's going to have to eat one and regroup. Can't really compete with somebody who's willing to rush you right in the face if you're just going to wait for him. Good pot shot kill there. Only 2 frags to go to tie this thing back up for JWarrior. JWarrior, however you want to say it. And it seems like he had that fight, just whatever reason. I guess the angle on the spread of that shotgun blast didn't go in his favor. Langrenus doing an excellent job. Like, he does eat some damage, but man, his aim is just like taking his extra couple of seconds to aim and get it just right, and ultimately comes out with the frag. But here we are, 1 frag deficit and the BFG kill to tie it up. Langrenus just says no, absolutely not. We will not run away with that. We'll go back over to Lang's POV. Only 6 more frags for Langrenus to close this up, but it is still very close and highly competitive. JWarrior not going down without a fight. 2 frags spread here. Still no progress for Langrenus. Oh, finally. 45 to 43.
Great shot from JWarrior there.
Jay is not backing down, and just like that, we're tied up again. Only 5 frags to go. This is anyone's matchup, folks.
Oh, and JWarrior takes it with a telefrag.
Right back to the tie. Langrenus punishing him again, and immediately a refrag back and forth. Staying tied all the way through. It's just going to be a matter of who gets this last shot.
49-49.
And JWarrior
man,
takes the cake.
That was that was great.
Incredible. Let's watch that replay. This is absolutely insane. Come around this corner here, and everybody thought he had. I totally thought he led pretty much the whole match, and just JWarrior, the comeback kid, like not once, not twice, but like 3 different times during that match, was able to come back from a big deficit and then close the gap at the end with that back and forth. Like, nobody could have predicted what was going to happen there at the end. We're getting right on into our next
yep.
map here.
Right into King 1. Can I do a quick recap of the bracket so far?
Go ahead.
So we got our first round. We're out of the first round. We have Denzoa defeating Legion. 2-0, he moves on. Dante defeats Proteh in a 3-round match. So Denzoa and Dante play each other. we watched Amarr defeat Devastation in 3. Disparel took out Seifer in 2, so it'll be Amarr versus Disparel. Langrenus, of course, beat Dastin 2-0. JWarrior beat the Best-Killer. We're watching that right now. And Animal defeated Ty in 2 games, and Ghostkiller defeated Zakin in 2 games. So it's Animal versus Ghostkiller. Down in the losers bracket, yeah, that's gonna be good. And down in the losers bracket, we have Zakin versus Ty, the Best-Killer versus Dastin, Seifer versus Devastation, and Proteh versus Legion.
And again,
Pardon the
folks,
interruption.
if you need to see the bracket, just exclamation mark bracket right there in the chat, and it will pop up for you. You can go to the tournament page and keep up with the action in real time. And by real time, I mean whenever Bones gets around to updating it.
We should be up to date for now. It just takes me a couple minutes.
Just need to hire a new monkey is what we need. But all that said, we are here in this match in the action.
I'm in training.
Langrenus is doing an excellent job of staying on top here and getting these spawn frags. This is actually a different way of playing the map than we've seen a lot of people do. It's pretty typical strategy. Stay in the bottom middle and catch someone as many spawn frags as you possibly can. Langrenus taking a more moving around really fast approach. You don't want to be standing out in the open on these platforms at all, but you also can't be trying to hide in the rooms either, because that's just a good way to get trapped. You can occasionally catch someone trying to run through there, but generally speaking, if they don't see you anywhere else on the map, they know you're in there, and they're approaching that either with a fight or just waiting for you to come out if they're in the lead. And Langrenus not falling for any tricks here. Very nice long-range double barrel pot shot. JWarrior with a nice jumping frag there. It's actually a pretty risky move to go for if you're just gonna jump right down knowing your opponent's aiming at you already. But I feel like the motion maybe played in his favor a bit. Sometimes it's hard to remember that vertical motion doesn't matter in Doom. You can shoot as long as they're in that range.
It's true. It's interesting to note this is exactly how the last map started. Langrenus kind of had that 3 to 4 frag lead for quite a while. So we got to see if he can hold on to that. Unlike what happened in Mu2D. JWarrior playing that defensive chain gun game, which actually works so well on a map like this.
Langrenus content to hide behind that platform, and unfortunately he just barely got clipped with the BFG as he tried to rush in for the shotgun kill.
Yeah, at some point you know you're going to have to move, because the player with the BFG is coming for you. So it's really just, you know, sometimes you get lucky with the timing and where you end up going, but you're kind of... Ooh, two BFG shots there from JWarrior.
On a map like this, it's not exactly smart to just sit there and kind of like hide. There's not really a lot of places to hide from the BFG. You got to rush in there and just try to get the most bang for your buck. End it as quickly as possible, at the very least. And I think that was if I'm not mistaken, he killed himself with the rocket launcher. JWarrior trying to play the low ground here. He tried to just barely get around the column, but it didn't work out for him. Very nice shots here. And God, Langrenus' movement, I just can't say enough about. Like, watch him as he dances between the pillars there.
Well, not only that, but the shots that he's taking from the distance that he's taking them, and he's landing them and doing like significant damage. I mean, that's really difficult to do. You see him going for the BFG here, which hasn't been a huge factor so far in this game, but
JWarrior is content to just sit and wait. He hears.
Yeah, JWarrior spawned in kind of a bad spot for him, so he's just gonna wait. Maybe try and slow the game down a little bit. I mean, it's been kind of breakneck pace, playing at Lang speed, so let's see if he can turn things into his favor here.
Trying to give the false flag there with the platform. I don't think Langrenus is gonna bite. As I said, Langrenus not one to fall for tricks like that. It seems like he really knows what he's doing, but unfortunately he didn't rush in fast enough. JWarrior able to get off that quick frag. rocket damage all over the place, and Langrenus will walk away successful from that fight. JWarrior is going to have to run away and lick his wounds, and just like that, JWarrior gets confronted with a fight when I don't think he meant to be. Chain gun was out, and it didn't go his way. Still very quick paced movement like that, and I love how these guys both play at that pace where it's like they'll wait a bit, they'll kind of plan and plot, try to get someone to fall for something, and then immediately it's just throwing haymakers. I mean, we've got a Mickey Ward style fight going on.
I think they both really play on the edge, like,
Yeah.
and you can't really predict what they're gonna do. It's kind of crazy. Like look at what Lang is doing right now. I mean, yeah, spawn frags are typically easy, or they're considered easy, but you still have to land the shots, and his aim is on another level today, as it has been throughout all the qualifiers.
One thing we need to mention is that as exciting as all this gameplay is, JWarrior is down by 14 frags, and Langrenus has passed the magic 40 mark. It's like Langrenus is all but walking away with the victory here. JWarrior, the way he's playing, you would never know that. He's absolutely approaching this with every ounce of his being. Now's not the time to slow it down either, with 7 frags to go for Langrenus.
Well, and that's why JWarrior's comeback win on Mu2D means so much, because, you know, this is kind of a slaughter right now. So he's gonna have to come back in the third map, and you know, it's hard when you're morally defeated in a game like this to come back with full strength in round 3, but you know,
JWarrior
gotta have your eye on the
seem like
prize.
he's morally defeated. Like, he's still moving around, he's still fighting. He doesn't seem like he was making any like rash decisions. He just was getting outplayed and outshot. There's your replay, folks. Langrenus with a wonderful final frag there. And I believe we'll be moving right on into it. So it's 1-1. We're going to map 3, folks. Doesn't happen like this every time. It's usually a special occasion. And honestly, like, no matter what happens at this point, JWarrior and Langrenus both blowing my mind with their gameplay, especially that first map on Mu2D. Start off following JWarrior here on map number 3, folks, and it's going to be an interesting one. We're going to see the BFGs flying, we're going to see people dying, we're going to see everything you want to see in a good old Doom deathmatch. Very, very solid shots here from JWarrior. 3 up right off the bat, and still counting. Finally, a return shot there from Langrenus.
Yeah, and I think unlike the first game we saw here between Dev and Amara, we will see some BFG in this map.
Oh, I'd be very surprised if we didn't. I don't think these guys respect each other that much. They're both kind of balls to the wall players.
Well, and they have that confidence down now. You know, they've made it out of the first round. They beat their first opponents, and you know, now they should be firing on all cylinders, leaving nothing to chance. So you're right. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a lot of BFG, probably towards the second half of this match.
Well, we'll see who's hungry at the end of this battle. What it really comes down to today is there's $1,500. That's a couple months worth of groceries if you're frugal. That's a payment. You could buy a car, you know, if you're willing to drive not the best car in the world. A significant chunk of money, dude, and I really think that we're going to see people play differently than we have over the past several weeks of this tournament. It's like, it means something now. Something more than just the glory of being the best Doom player. Which I wish that were enough motivation, but it isn't always. Here we are carrying on a 25, 26-year-old tradition of blowing each other's brains out with shotguns on the internet. And I love every moment of it. 17-12 here. Langrenus doing a good job of playing defensively. We're seeing JWarrior kind of like running around on these top edges here. And Langrenus has been doing a good job of kind of like playing the backfield, moving around the edges of the map, and then when he sees his opportunity, he kind of gets those quick sprints across, jousting with the shotgun, and is able to execute. 70 health only for JWarrior. He's going to be at a disadvantage with all that damage that just came flying across the map from God knows where as far as he was concerned. JWarrior not giving up without a fight here, trying to close that gap here and pretty quickly making chili out of Langrenus with these spawn frags.
Yeah, that's just a series of bad luck
Yes,
spawns there from
somebody give
Langrenus.
this
But
man some Ritz crackers. Holy shit. It's just blood all over the
like,
map.
how many times? No, that's got to be what, like 10?
Took the lead. He's back. It's 23
Yeah.
to 21 all of a sudden. This guy's insane.
And like I said last map, he's still gonna make those shots. You can spawn in front of me all day, but you know that fucking old man hands are gonna fuck up, and I won't be able to get every single spawn frag. But you know, you got to be able to make those shots, and that's impressive. So here we are. JWarrior takes the lead.
We're going to pop over to Langrenus' point of view and see how he responds to this and ties it right back up. Again, immediately after the dust had settled, or we should say the blood had settled, the rigor mortis had set in from all those spawn frags. Langrenus goes right back to changing the pace of the map. I'm going to act a little slower. I'm going to sneak around some corners. And it seems like he did a good job of that at first, but the momentum has kind of tilted in JWarrior's favor. Excellent job. If he didn't try to lead that shot or follow through with it or anything like that, he just saw him, waited for him to get at that vertical angle, jumping off the platform, and shot. That's some veteran instinct out of Langrenus. Oh, prematurely ejaculated on the wall there, and that cost him that fight, unfortunately. He almost had, like, everything he needed to happen for him to win that fight was there. Just didn't go his way. JWarrior is going to continue on with this substantial but small lead. Slowly getting picked off here. Really see Langrenus, like, the way he moved up that staircase. It's like a serpent getting ready to strike. He's got venom coated bullets here, and he's trying to just get them stuck into JWarrior. JWarrior is not giving up though, man. This guy's just moving on. He's keeping that 3 to 4 frag lead pretty consistently ever since that series of spawn frags. Langrenus, it's hard to say. He's not doing anything wrong necessarily, other than just every once in a while misses an opportunity that JWarrior has not missed out on. We're past the magic 40 mark here with a 6-5 frag deficit.
Well, I do want to give a a quick update. We have 2 of our first eliminations from the tournament. One name, surprisingly, but so the first person, Ty, was eliminated by Zakin. And Seifer eliminated Devastation.
Wow. Seifer eliminated Devastation. Alright,
That's correct.
I just lost a lot of money, folks. I'm done. The stream's over. JWarrior, only 2 frags to go here. He's getting picked off here. Langrenus is like, absolutely. He knows how close the match is, and he's not willing to give up. Unfortunately, I think he may have just ate too much shotgun damage to be safe, and that will be that for JWarrior. See our replay here. Very nice. Moves around through the top canopy, runs out over the stage, and actually gets another one of those pretty difficult to pull off dropping shots. But I guess in the position he was in, he could take that risk, and it paid off for him because he won. So.
Yep, so JWarrior is going to move on to play the winner of Animal versus Ghostkiller. And let's see. Langrenus is going to move on to the loser of that matchup. So that's still to be determined.
So who are we watching now?
Well, give me one moment. Let's see.
Trying to keep the action going, folks. How's everybody doing? If you're out there, if you're quarantining yourself in your home, trying to avoid getting the COVID-19 or whatever, if you're over in one of those affected areas, our hearts are out to you. But hey, at least you got some good old entertainment here with this tournament to keep you motivated to continue living life throughout this time of difficulty. We've got plenty more action for you guys. It's going to be, I think it's going to be a pretty long day, but I can't believe we've already seen the first 2 eliminations. Seifer taking out Devastation is, I don't want to necessarily call that a crazy upset because Seifer is an excellent player, but that is not what I expected at all. Devastation, with Devastation taking 4 weeks to qualify and then out in the first round, essentially, like, that is insane. This is a new era potentially for Doom. But I would be interested to see if we repeated this all on a different source port, how that would shake things up. Because there are some players, take Denzoa for instance, who's pretty well-rounded on all source ports, whereas some of our more specialist top-tier guys that we think of as like the Doom legends, a little more stuck in their ways, I would say. So it's gonna be fun to see not only today's events, but how this style of tournament in the world of Doom moves forward into the future. Bones?
Yep, we can hop into, there's a game going on right now in the loser's bracket. Let's see. Legion versus Proteh. Yep, it's in the other New York server.
Dens?
Sure is.
A or B?
Then A.
Alright, we're going to get over to that match now, folks. Get Legion and Proteh here. And is this their first map?
Yes.
Fantastic. Legion. Ha! He gets caught trying to sneak through the median there. These are 2 guys that we've seen face off a whole lot and just such excellent complementary styles they both play. Proteh gonna be a little bit pressed to keep this particular lead going, I think. Legion knows how to come back, especially on this map. It's ever growing, but all he's got to do is just get the right footing and get a few spawn frags, and just like that, Gap looks a little less intimidating. Mu 2D is just one of those dynamic maps where like things can change very, very quickly. Teleporters on all sides. You're not really safe to stand in any particular place for any extended period of time. It's a smaller map. Nice damage there. Just like I said, a series of spawn frags. Right back in the game. Ooh, just came around that corner at the wrong angle. It seems like he was trying to hug it. That is not the appropriate thing to do. You want to have that barrel of that shotgun already aiming towards your opponent before you see him, which is a hard thing to do, but we see it every day here in Doom. 2 frag deficit now. 3. Very nice execution here. Too much damage for my taste, but he immediately spins around with only 10 health. Tries to get the BFG to fire, but not in time to get the kill, unfortunately. Proteh starting to actually pull away with this lead now. this might be a little bit more significant. We're going to go over to his point of view and see how he's moving around, which appears to be not at all. He's very comfortable standing still here and just absolutely caught Legion with his pants off at that point. Very nice. Good series of spawn frags here, and that's going to push him closer to the magic number of 40. Proteh just really looking confident with his aim. Even those few little frags that he's having to eat there. Just like that. Just flick, flick, flick. Only 5 frags to go for Proteh to finish this one up. Only one more to go. I'm going to call it Proteh's game unless Legion does something absolutely insane here. That will be that. Let's go ahead and see a quick little replay of that. Waiting, waiting, and there's your final frag. A long distance pot shot. Wonderfully executed, and we're going to be moving right on into the next one. That'll be 1 point for Proteh. We'll start off following him into the next match. Oh, little peekaboo with the doors here. Keanu Reeves the rocket and already has eyeballs on him. Can he sneak around and try to get him before he goes in the door? No, but he will 180 him as he tries to follow up the lift. Pretty substantial lead off the bat here. The BFG will almost save Legion from all that damage, but he still got killed as a result of it. 4 frag lead now for Proteh. And not exactly the worst place to spawn. He's got the BFG, couldn't quite get a shot off, and that's going to be unfortunate for Legion.
Yeah, Proteh seems to be in control of this matchup.
Proteh
And the thing is,
beating him like a government mule at this point. It's kind of
yeah.
crazy.
And the thing is, this is it. I mean, this is Legion's last chance. So it'll be interesting to see if he decides to change his strategy if he goes down by any more than 10. You know, if he's just going to try and play some crazy way, like ball to the wall.
He needs to do something. He's got to come up with a plan. Good BFG damage there, but I'm not sure if he's going to be able to actually string together any kills. He wasn't there for the spawn frag. BFG still getting fired everywhere. Some damage comes off of it and finally gets a kill, but each time he's gotten the BFG kill, he's taken too long to actually get it. Proteh's been able to kill him simultaneously. Very unfortunate set of spawns there.
Nice rocket. Just lowers the lift, shoots that rocket out, makes a nice shot there. from Proteh.
Proteh off the spawn. He's perfectly content to stand where he is and maybe prematurely fires off that rocket. And amazingly dodges 2 BFG cells before actually eating the third one and gets the kill. And that's just happening way too much for any kind of comfort or peace of mind on Legion's point of view. He can never seem to get the advantage even with the BFG. Not even quite halfway through the frags yet for Proteh. Legion has plenty of time to string something new together here. Finally gets just like a nice little set of frags there with the BFG. And trying to play peekaboo around the corner, both of them throwing shells each other's way. And I think Proteh shot a little too early here. Amazingly able to spin around and get that shot. Truly outstanding rocket damage there. But with the 10 frag deficit, it's just not looking good for Legion. And Legion just hasn't changed up his strategy at all. It's just been kind of going at it with the BFG continuously. Proteh not really playing for the BFG at all, but he did run into that. And he heard the sound. He knew that was coming, but sometimes the best thing to do is just try to rush in there and get it over with. 4 frags. Well, I should say... yeah, I believe Legion got 4 frags out of that run. Go back over to Legion, see what he's going to do to change the pace of this matchup. It seems to just be run through him with the BFG. Very nice shotguns coming out of here, but you don't want to get too close to that rocket launcher flying at you. Very good use of the BFG there. 6 frags, and I can't believe he didn't get any damage off of that BFG shot. Good catch with the shotgun. See if he can get the spawn frag. He does. Runs right through him. That's 2. 4 frag deficit. 3 frags. This might be Legion's moment. He's singing for his supper. And able to actually execute that. Can he get another weapon in time to keep the streak going? 2 frag difference. Legion has tied up this game. And just like that, he's in the lead. He's going to have to slowly move around here. Try to keep on the offensive. The Rocket's a little too overpowering for him. He needs a super shotgun to engage in this next fight. I'm going to have to say there's no way out of it. He's going to go for the BFG, and unfortunately, I think he gave himself away with all those movements on the lift and everything to try to get to it, but didn't get fragged. He's got the BFG. He's in control, and he's able to get off yet another frag to keep himself in the lead here. Again, tied up. Proteh trying to hide behind the corners here. Very nice use of the window there for Legion. Unfortunately, the BFG knows no bounds.
Proteh with a really nice BFG shot there.
Legion's got a BFG of his own now. And he's able to go ahead and get that frag in, but he doesn't have any other weapons. 5
That
frags
was really unfortunate.
for Proteh to finish this off. Legion ties it up once again, just like that, man. Legion is not going out without a fight. He knows this is his moment. If he wants to stay in this
right in
tournament,
the face with that BFG shot.
if he wants that $1,500, every single shot, every movement, every press of a key is going to count. 47, 3 frags more, 2 frags more, and Legion can walk away with his skin still attached to his body.
I'm not sure it's going to be attached to my body after this game.
Oh my god. Oh! Very well played here. A rocket launcher is not going to be enough, though. Spam it at the door all you want. He's got a double barrel. Too much damage.
He's going to want to move.
And he just got caught in the corner there. That might cost him. Only 2 frags, though. Legion has just got to put 2 frags together here. We've seen him do it many times. He's got 5 health, 1 frag to go. Can he do it? It will be very easy for Proteh if he got that kill right there. All he's got to do is string together a couple more kills. Either way, super close. 50 damage. We are tied up.
This is not a good spot for Legion
sure has
spawn.
the advantage. Legion
Oh my
not able
goodness.
to get off the BFG in time. Proteh is going to take it. And Legion, you have been voted off the island. An amazing.
He had it. And if Proteh had missed that last shot, Legion would have taken that map, because you could see when Legion died that his BFG shot went right over Proteh. So
I don't know what you're supposed to
what
do.
a match.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I need a break. Does anybody? I have to have a beer after that. That's insane. If I had a cigarette, I might smoke it. Holy cow.
If I smoked cigarettes, I might smoke one.
I don't. I'm
I'm
just saying.
about to smoke one. I will smoke one for you guys.
Thank you, thank you. Go ahead. 3 cigarettes, please. All at one time. What have we got next?
Well, let's move on to
Depending on
bracket.
if Armour or the Sparrow wins, but you got a Denzel match then. JWarrier and Animal already just started.
We'll probably continue to follow Proteh. He's going to go up against Langrenus.
Wonderful. Same server or
Let's see. Hang on.
let me know what you determine.
Oh, you want to do a winner's bracket now?
Let's see.
It's okay. It's all good. The loser's bracket, you got people's backs up against the wall. I mean, they're kind of more exciting right now.
Either way is fine with me. I'm just enjoying the action regardless of where it
Oh, we
is in the
have
tournament.
Ghostface and Seifer going.
No, hang on.
Ghostkiller.
Let me update the folks on Twitter and see if we can get them to come join us.
Sure, why not? I'll step away from the computer for a moment. I couldn't join the server, there was a limit on 4, so I couldn't watch it live though. It was a nice match to watch.
Alright, Bones, have we settled on what server we're going to?
Haven't seen any discussion yet.
So,
But if you want to pick up a game that is going on right now, we could do that. Although, let's see.
Ghostkiller, Seifer.
Yeah, we could pick up Ghostkiller and Seifer.
okay.
I believe this is their second map, though.
Alright, I'll just leave the counter off until we establish where we're at in that. Let's go ahead and get into it. What server are we on?
The other Den server.
The other Den's Den. Okay. Alrighty. And here we are with the action, folks. We're gonna go ahead and turn off the map counter until we figure out exactly where we're at. Seifer only down by 4. Seems like Seifer is, kind of attempting maybe a little bit too much to play the middle ground. Just from what I've seen so far, it's kind of hard to judge when you're already 25 frags into a match. Ghostkiller has some undeniable aim and maybe not the most fancy movement. Like, I think that Seifer definitely has a smoother motion around the map than most players. Ghostface, very deliberate. He'll point his gun at you and start walking straight in your direction. And that's pretty hard to deal with. Some people are expecting you to go side to side. You're seeing Ghostface just push right straight into you, put the shotgun on your head, pull the trigger. Pretty simple, pretty effective. Flip over to Seifer's point of view here. He's got the minigun out. It's not paying off for him. Single barrel well done. Huge deficit here for Seifer. He's going to have to be absolutely insane to make up for it. Ghost already past 40 now. Wonderful shotgun blaster for Seifer. He tried to psych him out and push the button to open the door, maybe get him to run around in a different direction, but it didn't work. However, these shotgun blasts that he's getting off these spawns are, and with only 15 health, it's going to be crazy if he actually pulls off this fight. And down to 5 now. Ghostface had him. Seems like he had him pegged there as he moved around the corner. Good long-range pot shot there. Seifer is stringing together some pretty good spawn frags here, but with only 3 frags to go for Ghostface, it's going to be hard to say Ghostkiller isn't moving out of this match as the winner. Go ahead and get over to him, see if he can put these last 2 frags in there, or nails in the coffin if you will. That'll be that. Ghostface will advance. Well, I should say to the next map. Unless I missed. I don't know. Did we ever figure out where they were maps-wise? Bones? Is that...
Just one.
Okay.
Won that one. So
I was not mistaken. Fantastic.
you were not. So actually, perfect timing. If you want to jump out of that server and head right into another exciting game, Langrenus vs. Proteh, happening on DE Ownage. So this is, of course, a loser's bracket game, but I'm going to update the brackets real quick, but they look like they've already...
What map?
They're
Or
playing
what server? I'm sorry.
DE Ownage. A. And they started off on Mu2D, and Langrenus has a 16-8 lead right now.
When you say A, DE Ownage A, got it. Qualifier 3.
Yep. We really put our work in to update the server names.
Hey, it's all good, man. Back over to the action. That's not good. Hold on. Gonna have to re-attack that server entry. Oh, I see what we did there. I wish I could show you how I misspelled the password, but since we're on the air, I can't. I'm sure you can imagine how one might misspell such a thing, though.
Yeah.
Inside joke, viewers. Sorry.
I think it were your socks.
So far, this matchup looks like it's pretty handily in Langrenus control.
Yeah, 30 frags already. $32. He's literally doubled Proteh's score. Langrenus is just as comfortable moving backwards as he is moving forward. It's really crazy. He's a man with eyes in the back of his head. He's got a second monitor that shows him the opposite way, sitting directly behind him.
Nah, I think he got rid of your mirror.
Just an insane string of kills here. Let's go over and see if Proteh can do anything about this. Again, a doubled score for Langrenus. Proteh hears the plasma shots and just decides, I'm going to stand still and not make any noise. Wait for that to be over with and then go on the attack. Langrenus still able to actually pull off that kill. And even post-mortem, getting that BFG shot out. Too much self-damage there for Proteh. But he is able to pull it off with the minigun. Nice spawn frag there, and good damage with the shotgun. Unfortunately, stayed in front of the window for just a little too long. Got picked off, and that'll be that. Langrenus will advance.
Well, I believe that was map 1.
You're okay.
So
yeah, we just started a series with these two guys. Okay. I feel like I knew that, and I entered the information in that way. But anyway, one map for Langrenus. One more map for Langrenus.
So it wasn't the worst thing in the world for you to say that Langrenus would advance.
Thank you for the follow there, Seifer TV. I wonder who that is. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
By the way, yes, Seifer was unfortunately eliminated from the tournament, but I mean, we've been fawning over his performances and his abilities and just his movement, his aim, everything about him. So it was really cool to have you participate, Seifer. Hopefully you continue to play, but you were awesome.
I'm your biggest fan. Langrenus already 3 in the lead. Proteh maybe a little demoralized after that last map. I know I would be. Hopefully he doesn't give up. Whoa! You hear the shotgun, the blast, the spread moving past his eardrums there. Maybe piercing the ear. About a 12 gauge. Very nice shotgun play here from Proteh, but just not able to predict Langrenus' movement quite to the extent that he wants to, and that's going to cost him 2 more frags.
Yeah, it seems like Proteh's reaction time is just not quite on the same level as Lang's. I mean, you would see that sometimes Lang would spawn, and Proteh would just be a little too slow to get over there and spawn frag him, like to turn his mouse, and Lang would get the shot off first. And that's really been hurting him so far. I mean, to fall down by 10 on this map, 12, I don't know. It's not looking good for him.
Very nice. Proteh dodged a whole lot of BFG. We've seen that Proteh has a unique talent for just sneaking past BFG shots like that. Like, not rushing in to get the kill, but just as if it were a time-based platformer game. Just like, oh, there's 1 and 2 and bang. Alright. But that doesn't make up for the fact that he's at a 13 frag deficit. Some of those spawn frags might have, but he didn't capitalize on the last one. I think it's, as you said, a reaction time thing. It just doesn't have that flick aim going on right now.
Yeah, and he just starts off, like when he spawns, he just starts off really slowly, and Lang is not wasting any time. I mean, yeah, it's unfortunate. But he seems to have met his kryptonite here.
I'm gonna go back over to Lang's POV here. Really excellent damage there. And Lang surprisingly missed all those shots, and it's going to cost him a frag there. But, hey, I'll just fly literally diagonally across the 2 pillars of the map and hit you with a flying pot shot with the shotgun and get that refrag. No problem. Nothing difficult to pull off about that. Made it look easy. There's really no commentary to be had here.
It's hard. It's hard to say, like, what you're watching. It's just an annihilation, and, I mean...
Proteh, it was good to see you, man. Good to have you around.
Great player. I mean...
Nice knowing you.
You know, somebody that it's not really well known in the Doom community, but, I mean, he's an incredible player. And I think he just came up against Lang, who's just in full-on destruction mode today.
What a wonderful way to end it. For Langrenus, not so wonderful for Proteh. Already out of the server. He's gone. He's out of here. Thank you for whatever it is that you were able to do there, man. Like, just for keeping your composure. I think I would have quit a long time ago. That was painful. So that's going to be a W for Langrenus here.
Yep, and that means that Langrenus actually moves on to play Ghostkiller.
That's going to be really fun to watch.
Really very fun.
Are we gonna
especially if you manage to listen to... I think we will watch it. And especially if you manage to listen to the podcast that we recorded. We had a nice little segment on streaming a game that features Ghostkiller. So it'll be extra fun if you're familiar with that story.
Yes.
Can't say he's not fun. There's one thing we can't say about Ghostkiller. It's definitely not against his fun.
He is fun, yes.
Let's see here. I'm all updated and ready to roll. Are we staying server location? What's the deal?
Let's see.
Folks out there, if you are watching, be sure to share out there on your social medias. Let your friends currently know that we are doing this and it's kicking ass and we're having a good time. We've got a lot more to go, and there's $1,500 on the line. Who will walk away a little bit richer today?
Well, I'll tell you who it's not going to be. It's not going to be KingDime.
It's true. So over at the winners bracket side, we've got Denzo and Armour and JWarrior and Animal. That's got to be something fantastic. Whoever wins those 2 matches will face off in the winners bracket final, and then it's just a matter of cleaning it up down here in the LB to figure out
Yep.
how this is going to go.
And I mean, as soon as you get into that winner's bracket final, I mean, that's guaranteed money right there.
It's just astounding. Like, Animal, Denzo, Langrenus, like those would be kind of the obvious, most men would say at this point. Like, I think those are your 3 possible winners. But I can't even say that right now. Like, Ghostkiller has surprised me more than once throughout this whole thing. We still got Disparel and Zakin facing off. We've got a lot to go. This is just a almost uncommentable action. It's kind of an impossible task to act like I know what I'm talking about with some of these players. Absolutely insane. That said, do we have a server picked yet?
We don't have a server picked yet. Still waiting to hear from Ghostkiller.
Okay. DM me. I'm going to actually take a short AFK and brew some coffee and be right back.
All right, I shall do the same.
I hit the replay button. I hit the old replay button when I meant to hit the talkie talk button. But hey.
Alright, well, it looks like
Welcome back.
Ghostkiller and Lang settled on a server here. And they are currently into their first map on a New York server.
Ghostkiller and Lang on which New York server? That's important.
Ownage B.
Ownage Bravo. Got it. We'll go over to that screen and watch these guys duke it out.
I don't know if anybody knows the significance of having Lang versus Ghostkiller in a loser's bracket game, but this is so not a loser's bracket game. Like, this could very easily be a grand finals game. So, you know, to have one of these players playing essentially for elimination is really tough. Really tough matchup for both players.
This will absolutely for certain not be a grand finals matchup. We know that for certain now. But if you told me that yesterday, I would have been like, yeah, I can see that for sure. No question about it. Top tier players. Pretty evenly matched here right off the bat, too. Following Ghostface. Just put the tip of that single barrel right in his face. Sometimes
Well, he
that's all
put
it
the
takes.
tip somewhere.
Yeah. Suck on this. Nope. Good refrag there. Ghostface is one of those players that can get so much mileage out of just a basic single barrel shotgun. It's insane. Langrenus, though, moving frag by frag towards the lead, getting some of these long distance pot shots off. Just like that. We are officially, frags wise, over halfway done with this match. And can he capitalize on this refrag? No. Langrenus not getting punished at all. He's just keeping a nice even spread. Doesn't seem like he's panicking too much. We're going to go over to his point of view now. Very nice. Just waited for him to move in front of that shotgun. Had no erratic movement whatsoever. Langrenus might be on the juice, man. Langrenus coming up slowly from the bottom there. He's got 25 health and completely missed the shot from Ghostface there. Langrenus was able to pull off a 180 and still get the frag. Not a crazy spread, but as Langrenus gets ever closer to the magic 40 mark, it's going to be harder and harder for Ghostface to come back. Hey, Samiko, really glad you're liking it, man. And thank you also for the subscription for such a long amount of time. I haven't got to say thank you enough, I don't think. But yeah, glad you're checking it out. Langrenus now past the 40 mark. Only a 3 frag difference, though, is not necessarily a wash yet. Ghostface can come back at any point in time. Still be very competitive. numbers like this, it's just like a matter of like, hey, a few simple spawn frags could completely shift the momentum of the game, turn the tide. We could see something completely different. We're gonna pop over and watch Ghostface for a little bit to see if he's able to catch up. It's looking more and more like Langrenus is going to be able to close this thing off. Only 3 frags to go. Ghostface trying to play it a little slower here. And unfortunately, I think that premature shot there cost him. It's going to be one more frag for Langrenus to walk away with this. Ghostface rushing through here, getting a couple of spawn frags in. A nice pot shot from a distance and exits the map. Chooses to suicide rather than get killed, and it didn't work out in his favor. 47-50. Well, either way, Samiko, we deeply appreciate it, and if you want to unsub, that's always, nobody's going to be mad at you. But I have been quietly appreciating that every single month since then, so thank you for doing it. Let's go ahead and get over into our next match. Langrenus already with a small lead here. Ghostface trying to push through. So many spawn frags here. Like this is a slaughter. I don't think I've seen such an unlucky set of spawns in forever. It was 9-10 frags in a row for Langrenus. Ghostface not backing down at all, though. Even with a 9 frag deficit this early in the match, all it takes. We'll go over to Lang's POV. I'm not sure if they've been playing since 95 because that's the year I was born, but yeah, 1995, if these players have been playing since then. I don't even think so, honestly. I don't think that is the case. Human Bones would probably be able to answer that question a little bit better. He'll be back in just a moment. He's taking care of some administrative duties.
Was your question, Motherload?
Semiko in the chat wanted to know if these guys had both been playing since 95, and I don't think so. They're not. Neither of them are that old, as far as I know.
Indeed, you're correct there. They're not that old, so they haven't been playing since 1995. Might be playing with themselves since then, but.
Langrenus doing an excellent job of trying to play defensively, running back and forth there, but he finally did get caught. Still a 9-frag deficit for Ghostface to make up for. 10 frags, and the BFG is flying all over the place. Very nice shots out of Langrenus, able to get these spawn frags over and over and over with only 15 health. Can he get one more and make it worth his while? No. He's gonna go down. 12-13 frag lead now for Langrenus. It's not looking good for Ghostface Killa. No one could get Illa though, we know that. Langrenus continuing to run away with it, folks. We're going to go over and watch. See if Ghostkiller can put some stuff together here. Maybe do a little magic. Wiggle his nose and come up with some frags. But only 9 frags to go now for Langrenus. Good use of the shotgun to kind of catch him as he tried to wall run up on him like that. It was really nice cornering. He knew he couldn't move out of there. And Ghostface was able to pin him to the wall like a cheap hooker. Alright, we're going to go back over to Lang's POV here with only 3 frags to go. Very nice BFG damage there. Rushes through, gets the spawn frag, only 1 more, and Langrenus will take this matchup. Ghostkiller is eliminated.
Good.
G, MF, and G. And we'll be back on.
All right.
Oh, Bones, you're back.
Yes.
Oh,
I'm
you're
so
back. You just missed it. Aw.
I know. It's okay. Let me update the brackets and see where we're at.
Wonderful, wonderful. What is next, folks? That was some insane action there. Ghostface, especially in the first map, did play a very good game, and even there, like on Moose UD, he did do an excellent comeback considering the unlucky spawn frags that were executed upon him in the early part of the match. He played hard and came back further than anyone ever probably could have thought he would, and just ended up not being able to really get his confidence back and string together anything. But when you're playing against Langrenus, like, what are you going to do? A player like that, so dominant, so just fluid, skilled, obviously feeling great today. I don't know how you compete with that. Sorry for whacking the mic there. But what are we going to do other than just sit here and see what Bones conjures up for us next? Hopefully it's something equally as exciting as that was. What else have we got in the lower bracket? Ghostface gone, so we're gonna see Langrenus face Armour. And have we got anything on Zach and Desperal, Dante, and Ghostkiller yet? Looks like
Dante defeated the Ghostkiller, so we're pushing him through, and Desperal beat Zakin. So we just got to update everything. And then I know that Zenero's going to take Dante versus Desperal, so let's see where the chips fall here for us.
the winner of that will take on Animal, so we should probably just go ahead and follow Lang into Armour.
Let's do it.
Alright. Any predictions on a server preference for them? Armour, you said, is Canadian. I'm not sure where Lang's from. Yeah, $1,500 cash prize for Doom 2 is in 2020 is pretty substantial in my opinion. I would like to see it give even bigger than that. I think that the tradition of this game should be carried on for as long as humanly possible, and I don't see it going anywhere in the near future. If anything, we've seen a dramatic upswing lately. Interest. I mean, me being one of the more recent converts, I'd say, to just how amazing Doom 2 really can be. Especially, you know, I get hyped for 1v1s. It doesn't matter what game it is. I love duels. I love the action. I love the chess match. I love the way that players pull crazy tricks out of their ass and just go at it head to head. There's nothing better. And Doom is one of those, like, tried and true. The skill ceiling is insane. You know, we do have players that have been playing since 1995, and then we have other players that have made up for that long range, you know, of not being part of the game, but maybe they make up for it with different skills, like being the young man with the crazy fast twitch aim movement, or just looking at the game from a new light, or not being stuck in old habits or whatever. Like, we've already seen some of the best players, or who we thought, you know, or who probably still are, some of the more amazing players in the history of Doom get quickly eliminated from this tournament. So anything goes as far as I'm concerned. I'm just excited for every single moment of action that we've seen over the past, what's it been, 5 weeks now? Started in February.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep, this is the 5th week, 4 qualifiers in the finals, so it's been really exciting. And I would love to do another one of these tournaments. You're right. I mean, $1,500 is a lot of money, but I think we could make it even higher next time. As long as we got some people willing to put their money where their mouth is.
Put your
No, and
mouth.
with that said, let's just also do a big thanks already for KingDime and Vertigo.
For sure.
They made this possible.
KingDime,
So-
Vertigo, and Do are the ones who are fronting the
And
money.
yeah.
It's our investors. It's really nice. We have they
Yeah,
got
and with
stock
that,
in
we
this.
also had a lot of people. We also had a lot of people making this possible by giving their service, providing game service to play on. We have
Yes.
Unknown giving the own age service. We have Moose from the USQC giving his Dallas server. Denzoa giving his Dan's Dan in New York. And the Californian servers are from
Dr. Sean
uh,
of Otomix.
correct.
And then we
Yes.
also had Gilmo from In the Keep provide us with Chicago servers.
Yep.
And of course TSPG for Brit Steel. And Brit Steel came in clutch. So yeah, it was really a team effort to get as many different server locations as, and I couldn't have been more happy with everyone. Everyone was super easygoing, super easy to work with, willing to help. It was pretty awesome.
Yeah. We got to shout out
Now you're lying. I wasn't really that happy to help. So,
double shout out there
More
to
credits to the
TSPG though, because they're putting up, like, anybody out there can go to allfearthesentinel.com and have their own Doom server running for 100% free, thanks to the good folks over at TSPG, which is the Sentinels Playground. I highly recommend you take them up on that service, get involved, and if you like it and you want more servers, you can just donate to them on Patreon. And tell them I sent you, because they know I send my love. Have we got Armour and Langrenus rallied up yet? Do they need, Langrenus might need to go, like, I don't know, flex his shoulders and maybe look at himself in the mirror admiringly. I kicked so much ass. They also do Quake servers, Semico. It's not just Doom. You can have free Quake servers as well through TSPG.
yeah, you can always hit up with Moves. You can also help you out with things.
We are trying to figure out a server. It looks like they might do one North American and one European, which is some good sportsmanship if it goes through.
Yes.
I'm sorry. Did you say the name of a server? I got confused.
No, so they're trying to figure it out.
Okay.
They're probably going to do one North American and then one European, and then the third match would be back on North American if that gets agreed to. So let's see.
Okay.
Still waiting on that, but if we want to do, before we figure that out, we want to take a look at brackets. Denzoa and JWarrior are the first 2 players who are actually qualified for the winners bracket final. And so, as such, they will be winning some money, $225 minimum.
Okay.
Pretty good for them. Let's see. And then, yep, we've got Disparel and Dante playing over in... where are they playing? They're playing over in Brit Steel. That's on Zenero's stream. Ghostkiller and Lang. We got to make sure that gets updated. So, yep, it looks like they're going to go... Lang and Amar are going to start off on European server. Let's see. DE Onage is where we shall begin.
DE Onage.
Looks like it'll be qualifier A.
DE Onage qual A. Alright. Let's get over to the server. Langrenus is here. Just getting warmed up. Oh, Armour, we're waiting for you. It's going to be really interesting to see these two guys play it off. Langrenus obviously has been having an absolutely incredible day, save for the one loss that put him into the lower bracket. Armour just now joining us in the lower bracket. He had definitely started off the day strong. The first match that we actually streamed, I believe, against Devastation, where he was victorious before finally falling off, I want to say, to Denzo, who was seed number 1. So there's nothing too crazy about this at all. And then have we...
It's my lucky day.
We're still waiting on it to figure out who's going to face Animal in lower bracket round 4 as well. But it looks like Armour is in the server now, so we're just waiting on him to join. We'll do some picking and dropping, coin flipping and all that shit, and then we'll get moving. Dew and KingDime are also here.
Yeah, let's kick one of them.
Go ahead.
Just for lol. Hey, Motherload, I just found another bottle of Malibu. I'm happy.
Wunderbar.
Wunderbar.
Exitoso.
Total guided.
Let's get this show on the road. We got a coin flip called. It's heads. Langrenus is going to ban Dweller right off the bat. Armour bans King. Furyk. Moo. And uptight. I'm wondering what the strategy is here necessarily for some of these bans. I'm sure Langrenus wants to avoid Dweller. He's definitely done better on smaller maps where he can kind of continue to keep the motion going, like not having to slow down at all. We got a idea just came up, so it looks like we're gonna get started here.
This is actually rare to have this map played as the first map in a matchup. Usually it's a tiebreaker, or it's one of those ones that people forget about. So to start it off here,
Usually the
definitely interesting.
second in the lineup. I bet you if we kept
Yeah.
stats on it. Very nice first frag there from Armour. Make that 2. Go ahead and pick up that health and try to get the most bang for his buck. But unfortunately, Langrenus don't give a fuck. Ties it right back up. How long can I keep that rhyme scheme going? Looks like Armour just lost a frag. Very nice, wonderful aim out of these two players. Like, this is such an incredible feat to see the two of them face off, because they have, in my opinion, fairly similar styles. Armour maybe a little
Well, and
more
here's the
grounded.
thing. Here's the thing that we're going to see with all of these
that they all easily could have taken place in the grand finals. So it's almost gonna be really sad to see one of these players get eliminated here.
It is what it is when you do what you do, man. And these guys do it very well. So, yeah, as you said, like every single match from here on out is a main event tier match. Like there's just these are the best of the best. I think with the exception of Jakist is the only incredible player that I can think of that just didn't make it to the tournament at all, didn't even try to qualify.
Yeah, I think everybody that could be considered an active top player participated in this event except Jakist. So, I mean, it's not like we were missing anybody. It's not like we're gonna see, somebody rather unexpected win. I think now we're getting to the point where it's like, okay, any of these players could win. Any of these matchups could have been in the grand finals. So it's really exciting, and I like the seeding worked out so perfectly, but at the same time, it's almost a shame to have a match like this happen where there's no money on the line. Technically, like no one here, one player here is not going to win any money, and that kind of sucks. But that just speaks to the success of the tournament and how well everyone's been playing.
Another thing to bring up is the grand final going to be like 2 best of 3s in a row? How are we playing that? Or is it going to be the winner comes in with a 1 map advantage?
So the grand finals is going to be a best of 7.
Okay.
And the player that advances through the winner's bracket will have a +1 advantage.
Duly noted. That's going to be so exciting.
That's got to be nerve-wracking. I've never played anything like that. I can't even imagine.
Armour, 6 frags below here. He's going to have to string some stuff together if he wants to continue in this tournament. Only the first map, though, so even this map, he can feasibly drag behind. But we're not at such a large deficit that anyone's really, running away with it at this point, especially not these 2 guys. Langrenus, though, very, very smart moving through the bottom of the map and hugging the wall so he couldn't be seen just to get that shotgun frag in. Nice BFG there, but only does damage and doesn't get the kill. Kill will have to come later. It's a pretty slow-paced match. Just not a whole lot going on really quickly. Almost 5 minutes in, we're not even halfway done.
It is, but I have to mention, I really think the sportsmanship here, where they're going to switch off servers, is really cool. And even Lang joined up and he was like, I'm sorry to make you play here, but the pings are more even. It's just Ammar, admittedly, isn't great when his ping is high. Like, he just feels like he doesn't play as great when his ping is high. So, the match might end up being determined by whichever player has the lower ping.
Well, whatever the case, they both agreed to it. So wherever the outcome is, we could say it was fair, and that's...
Absolutely.
Yeah. Nobody's going to be, crying about it. That's the biggest thing. That's all I really care about. Is everyone agreed. Very nice spawn frag from Ammar there. I'm going to pop back over to Langrenus' point of view now. As he moves ever further up and up past that halfway mark now. 32-23. We got a mirror image score. Whole lot of firing going on really quickly there, and the single barrel shotgun out of Langrenus will be efficient enough to get the kill. And You saw him like actually follow him across the jump there. He gets one shot and then it gets another shot off as soon as he touches the ground. He didn't actually get the frag from it. It's enough damage that he could feasibly take this fight if he can avoid some of the damage coming off of that minigun. And he wasn't able to because we saw Armour actually switch positions there. He decided to run down the staircase when he knew Langrenus was looking away, and that won him the fight. Still an 11 frag difference though, so it's going to be a long way to the top if Armour wants to rock and roll. Past the magic 40 mark here. 14 frag deficit. Langrenus running away with the score.
But if there's any matchup where you could see some epic comeback, it would be this one, because they both have incredible aim, and Ammar could very easily string together, 5 to 10 frags and get this thing close. But Lang is in the driver's seat. He's really close. 4 frags left here. I don't know if Ammar is going to be able to do it.
You can see the dead bodies littering the map at this point. It's just not looking good for Ammar at all with only 3 frags to go. Gonna have to see if he can regroup and come back in map 2 a little bit stronger and with a little bit better strategy. Very nice finishing blow there with the BFG.
Yep, pretty decisive win for Lang. I don't know if we're going to switch servers here. Let's see what happens.
Seems like that's what he wanted. I'm perfectly cool with it. I'm not going to exit out of this server until I have a definitive answer on it, though.
All right, looks like we're going to NA. Let's see where they end up.
Alrighty. It's going to be 1 point for Lang. Go ahead and update that. Langrenus is definitely the best player whose name rhymes with penis. I don't think anyone else can claim that at all. Not in this tournament. Not in this Doom League. Let's see. So as far as NA servers go, I mean, they have the option between New York, New Jersey, Chicago.
It's probably going to be New York.
Okay. Ownage.
Yeah, so they joined a server with only 2 spectator spots.
Well, we're 2 spectators.
Yeah, but you know what? I think Diamond do beat us to it.
Okay. Well, that's really awkward. Why are they streaming the same game that we are? We should be covering the animal match.
Well, we're waiting for the... I don't know. I don't know why.
Somebody should be watching.
Jump in. Just jump into the game.
Which server?
Den's Den.
A or B?
Looks like A.
Alright. I'm in.
You'll be without my services for this, though.
That's fine. I can handle it. I feel like somebody should be covering this other match, though. Sparrow and Dante. Winner takes on Animal.
Well, Desperal and Dante are being streamed on Zeneros.
Okay, I forgot we had Zenero also covering some of this. Okay, well, we could also just pass it on at this point.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we should. I think we should raid Dime stream.
Alrighty. Well, that's what we're gonna do, folks. Sorry for the sudden car crash of a stream, but hey,
Well,
send you over to something better.
you know, I want to say thank you. I really appreciate all the work that you did in all these qualifiers and today. I mean, you made this a hugely successful event. Couldn't have done it without you. I had a lot of fun.
Glad to help, man. Alright, gonna call it here. Peace out, folks.